the sample point, whatever the sample point which we are taking, that mu y is nothing but mean of sample. Okay, so here mu y can be written as sigma of yi by n. So this is the formula which we will be using for mean. Okay, so that is nothing but average of all sample points, that is mu. Okay, so this is the formula which we will be using to get the variance of the random variable. So next term is standard deviation. The standard deviation of y is root square of variance of y. The symbol standard deviation sigma y is often used to represent the standard deviation of y here. So what is standard deviation? So here standard deviation is used for distribution in the data. So how to distribute the data here? So sigma y, you can see here sigma y. Sigma y is the standard deviation of the sample points in sample y. Okay, so this is about standard deviation. So what is the next term? That is binomial distribution. So binomial distribution, when we take probability of head in single coin toss, okay, so that is nothing but probability of x is equal to h. Then binomial distribution will give probability of observing r heads. Say you want 2 heads in series of n independent coin toss, that is nothing but say 3 coin tosses. You have 3 coin tosses, in that it is 2 heads. So what is the probability of observing 2 heads in coin toss 3 series? Okay, so that is nothing but binomial distribution. Ante enti anante 3 times coin toss chestunaru. So dantlo 2 heads ఎన్నిసార్లు రావచ్చు. What is the probability of getting 2 heads? So this is only possible by binomial distribution. Okay, so if you want some output, so what is the probability of getting that particular output? So that can be done by using binomial distribution. Okay, next is normal distribution. So if you take weights of students in a class, okay, so weights of students in a class. So here less number of students will have less weight, and some students will have more weight. Okay, only less number of students will have more weight. Okay, but most of the students fall in this particular average range. So here you can see so I have plotted the data in this way. Okay, so this is less number of less weights with less number of students, more weight with less number of students. Okay, so whatever this particular area is there, this is the average of the students who are having. Most of the students fall in this particular range, who will have either less or more, means medium range. Okay, చాలా మంది medium range ఉన్న వాళ్ళు ఉంటారు. So this is the range. Now here I'll give you one more example. So let us suppose BTech CS students. Okay, and I'm calculating the weight. Okay, average of the students weight. Okay, so let it be 50%, 50. Okay, so here very less students will have either means less than 50, and very less students will have greater than 50. Only most of the people will be having weight with 50. Okay, so here you can see if this is the graph. Okay, I'm plotting the data. So this is less students will have 50, and some people have greater than 50. So this is the area who will be having 50 weight. Most of the students who will be having 50 weight. Okay, so likewise there are different types of examples. So if you take one more example, that is so whatever this particular distribution is called as, this distribution is called as normal distribution. So likewise, one more example, if you take social network. Okay, so I'm plotting the data of different people here. Okay, so these are the people with very few, will have less connection. Okay, and these are the people who have more connections. Okay, so only these people are the most of the people will have average or moderate connections with different people. Okay, so whatever the distributions we are doing here, this is called as normal distribution. So normal distribution is a bell-shaped probability. So whatever the curve, this is called as bell-shaped probability distribution. So that covers many natural phenomena. So whatever the data which we are plotting here, so this is called as bell-shaped curve. Okay, so this is called as normal distribution. Next is central limit theorem. So here central limit theorem is a theorem stating that the sum of large number of independent identical distribution random variables approximately follows the normal distribution. So this follows normal distribution here. So when you go on increasing the size of sample, so till now what we have did, we are taking the different types of samples. Only a part of sample is taken and we are testing the model here. Okay, so now when you go on increasing the size of sample, then the sample mean will follow the normal distribution here. If you go on increasing the size of the sample, what it will do? It will be giving us the normal distribution only. So this is the normal distribution. So here in central limit the theorem, it follows normal distribution. So if you take consider 5 students. Okay, so 5 students weights. In that, one student have high weights. Okay, so my average will go towards that particular student. So what has happened here? That has been biased. Okay, so but instead of 5, if I take 1000 students data, then I may get average of more, that is 50 if you take 50. Okay, so now if I increase the sample, and average of all the students will tend to fall around a particular value, it will be in a particular value. Okay, ఎక్కువ డేటా తీసుకుంటే ఆ పర్టికులర్ దానికి if we take the mean of that particular data, that will be tend in a particular border only, in a particular value only, that will tend to a particular value only. Okay, so as we go on increase the sample, then mean of that particular sample tend to fall a normal distribution. Okay, so here in central limit theorem, it follows normal distribution method. So here all whatever the values which are there, that will tend to be in mean only, mean value only. Okay, whatever the output which we get, that will be tend to in a particular range only. Okay, so that is this range. So this is about central limit theorem. Next is next is estimator. So what is estimator here? So take the probability of weights who fall around 50 in a class. So weight is 50. In a class, you want the probability of weight. Okay. So what I will do, that is probability of y is equal to 50. And then in estimate just now, what will be the output? I am finding the probability of the value or data here. So here y is, it is estimator because it is trying to calculate the mean of the class, whether the people fall around 50 or not. Okay, so this is called as so if you see here, in the previous class also I have told you, we'll be having a data set. In that, this data is total data set. Okay, that is population mean. ఈ total data ni nenu population data antanu. Okay, from this what I am doing, I am taking only sample data. Okay, sample mean. So here the difference between these two, population data and sample data, okay, so here the difference between the population data and sample data, this is called as estimation bias. So there is no difference between these two, then it is called as unbiased estimator. If there is difference, then it is called as estimation bias. And I am biasing to some data only. నేను ఏదో ఒక డేటాకి నేను bias అవుతున్నాను. That is called as estimation bias. If I am not biasing to anything and I'm not getting any difference, then that is called as unbiased estimator. So this is the difference between estimation bias and unbiased estimator. Okay, so the last term is n% confidence interval. So we are having some data, so that is plotted in the histogram, in the form of histogram. Okay, now I take 95% confidence interval, that I am getting accurate result, 95% accurate result. Okay, so this is 95%, and so whatever this particular area is 95%. Okay, so all this area, what is probability of parameter P falling in this range? So that is called as confidence interval. So how much is your confidence to get that particular output? So 95% confidence interval I am getting for my data. Okay, suppose I have plotted the data, okay, and I have got 65%. So this area is 65%. So 65% confidence interval, that is nothing but probability of parameter value falling within this particular range, that is only 65%. 35% fall out of this particular range. Idanta, whatever this particular range is, this is 35%. Okay, so area under normal distribution curve, around which all the data probably fall, and 5% only fall outside that particular area. So this is called as n% confidence interval. So we are finding the confidence interval in how much range it fall. Whatever the particular range it fall, what's the percentage of our output? Either it is 80% or 90% or what it is. So this is nothing but n% confidence interval. So we are estimating the output here in different intervals according to the probability. Okay, so this is called as n% confidence interval. So next is error estimation and estimating binomial proportions. So if you take, this is total data, from this I am taking only sample. So what is error which is associated with the same, and how does that influence the true error which is associated with the population? So here what I am doing, I am finding the sample error. Okay, now with this, what has happened, how much it will influence the true error here. True error and when unseen data is given, and with that the same hypothesis is used, and we will be getting some output. So how much it is influencing this particular unseen data, how much it is influencing on the true error here. Okay, so does the size of data sample we have any effect on the difference between sample error and true error? So this we have to see. So we have to estimate the error here. So this question is an example of well-studied problem in statistics. So this is whatever the problem which I have told you now. So how does the deviation between sample error and true error depend on the size of the data sample? So if I am executing the model with sample data and I am getting the output, how much does this influence the true error which is associated with this particular data? So this is the main question. So this is well-studied problem in the statistics. So many machine learning models have to perform well with large data. So we don't have less data or small data. So we'll be having large data here. So when the model is giving good for the sample data, so these should be generalizable to the large data also. Okay, so then we can say that whatever the machine learning model which we have developed, that is highly generalizable. Okay, so here it is a problem of estimating the proportion of a population that exhibits some property given the observed proportion over some random sample of the population. So if we take some random sample from the data, so some random sample from the data, whether it is giving good result and which can also give good result with the large data. So this we are going to observe. Okay, so in our case the property of interest is that H misclassifies the example. So H is giving prediction error, so that we have observed here. Okay, so now when we measure the sample error, we are performing an experiment with a random outcome. So experiment with random outcome. So once we pick one random sample and we will get the output. Next time we take another random sample and we will get the output. So here the sample error may be difference from first sample to next sample. Okay, so that we are measuring here. So we first collect a random sample S of n independently drawn instances from the distribution D and then measure the sample error. So let us take the random sample S of n independently drawn instances from the distribution D and measure the sample error. అంటే ఏంటి అంటే టోటల్ డేటా సెట్లకి ఒక శాంపుల్ తీసుకొని మన దాని ఎర్రర్ని ఫైండ్ అవుట్ చేస్తున్నాం. ఓకే, సో if we repeat this experiment many times, each time drawing different random sample, ఒకసారి ఒక శాంపుల్ తీసుకున్నాము, ఇంకోసారి ఇంకో శాంపుల్ తీసుకున్నాము. ఓకే, that is SI, sample, random sample SI of size n, we could expect to observe different values. ఒకసారి తీసుకుంటే ఒక వాల్యూ వస్తుంది, ఇంకోసారి తీసుకుంటే ఇంకో వాల్యూ వస్తుంది. ఓకే, సో ఫర్ వేరియస్ ఎర్రర్స్ డిఫరెంట్ ఎర్రర్స్ వస్తాయి మనకి. అండ్ అవుట్కమ్ ఆఫ్ ith such experiment is random variable. సో ఏమవుతుంది, ఒకసారి శాంపుల్ తీసుకొని ఒకసారి ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ చేస్తే ఒక ఎర్రర్ వస్తుంది, ఇంకోసారి శాంపుల్ తీసుకొని వేరే శాంపుల్ తీసుకొని ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ చేస్తే ఇంకో ఎర్రర్ వస్తుంది. సో లైక్ వైజ్ వీఆర్ గెటింగ్ డిఫరెంట్ ఎర్రర్స్. సో హియర్ ఎర్రర్ మే డిఫర్. ఓకే, so imagine that we were to run k. So here we run the experiment k times. Okay, such random experiment measuring the random variables, those are called as error S1H. ఒకసారి చేస్తే దాన్ని ఎర్రర్ S1 అంటాము, ఎర్రర్ S2 అంటాము, సెకండ్ ఎర్రర్ అంటాము. సో అట్లా k టైమ్స్ చేస్తే ఎర్రర్ SK అని అంటున్నాము. ఓకే, now imagine further that we then plotted a histogram displaying the frequency with which we observed each possible error value. ఇదంతా అబ్జర్వ్ చేసినాము, మనం దాన్ని ప్లాట్ చేస్తాం. ఓకే, దాన్ని మనం ప్లాట్ చేసినాం. సో హౌ? So this is error on x-axis. Okay, so this on y-axis, number of times errors are observed. Okay, so మనము ఒకసారి ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ చేసినప్పుడు, వన్ టైం ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ చేసినప్పుడు ఆ ఎర్రర్ అనేది 2 times అబ్జర్వ్ చేసినాం, నెక్స్ట్ 4 times అబ్జర్వ్ చేసినాం, నెక్స్ట్ 6 times, నెక్స్ట్ 8 times, నెక్స్ట్ 10 times. ఓకే, సో ఇక్కడ 2 times, ఇది 3 times, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 ఇట్లా డిఫరెంట్ టైమ్స్ ఎర్రర్స్ వచ్చింది. దాన్ని మనం ఇన్నిసార్లు వై యాక్సిస్ లో అబ్జర్వ్ చేసినాము. సో దాన్ని మనం ప్లాట్ చేసినాం. ఓకే, సో యాజ్ యూ గో ఆన్ ఇంక్రీజింగ్ నెంబర్ ఆఫ్ ఎక్స్పెరిమెంట్స్, you tend to see most of the sample error. So here this is the most of the sample error, whatever this particular area which is there. Okay, most of the sample error fall between some range. Okay, ఇక్కడ ఇది 5 అనుకోండి, 5 to 8. సో 5 to 8 మధ్యలో సేమ్ ఎర్రర్ వస్తుంది మనకి. సో వాట్ ఇట్ ఈస్ డూయింగ్, ఇట్ ఈస్ ఫాలోయింగ్ ద నార్మల్ డిస్ట్రిబ్యూషన్. నేను ఇంతకుముందు చెప్పాను, నార్మల్ డిస్ట్రిబ్యూషన్ అప్పుడు మనం ప్లాట్ చేసినప్పుడు మనకి ఏదైతే బిట్వీన్ రేంజ్ లో వస్తుందో దాన్ని మనం నార్మల్ డిస్ట్రిబ్యూషన్ అంటాం. ఓకే, సో యాజ్ వి అలౌడ్ k టు గ్రో, అంటే ఏం చేస్తున్నాం, కీప్ ఆన్ ఇంక్రీజింగ్ ద ఎక్స్పెరిమెంట్. మనము ఒకసారి ఒకటి చేస్తున్నాం, నెక్స్ట్ ఇంకోటి, నెక్స్ట్ ఇంకోటి, సైజ్ ఇంక్రీజ్ చేసుకుంటూ, శాంపుల్ ఇంక్రీజ్ చేసుకుంటూ ఎక్స్పెరిమెంట్ చేస్తూనే ఉన్నాము. ఓకే, దెన్ histogram would approach form of distribution బైనామియల్ డిస్ట్రిబ్యూషన్. సో దాన్ని ఇంక్రీజ్ చేసిన కొద్దీ బైనామియల్ డిస్ట్రిబ్యూషన్ అనేది ఇలా ఉంటుంది. సో బైనామియల్ డిస్ట్రిబ్యూషన్ ఇస్ ఫర్ n is equal to 40. n is equal to 40 అంటే 40 టైమ్స్ చేసినాము. ప్రాబిలిటీ ఈజ్ 0.3 అంటే 3 టైమ్స్ సేమ్గా వచ్చింది, నియరర్గా వచ్చింది. ఓకే, సో దిస్ ఈస్ కాల్డ్ as distribution probability, sorry, binomial distribution. Okay, so this is the main thing which we will be using here, that is binomial distribution. So I'll just discuss something about binomial distribution. So if you see here, say I'm tossing a coin 10 times. Coin 10 times toss chesnanu. Probability of observing 6 heads. 6 heads. Then binomial distribution gives probability of observing 6 heads out of 10 coin tosses. So what binomial distribution is doing? It gives the probability of 6 heads when we are tossing the coin 10 times. Okay, so when probability of heads of single coin toss is P, here you can see when probability of heads on a single coin toss is P, it is defined as, this is a formula. Okay, so in this formula, n factorial is nothing but number of coin tosses, r factorial is nothing but number of times heads are observed, n minus r is nothing but number of times heads are not observed, pr is nothing but probability of observing head in single coin toss, ante enti ante how many heads we have observed. అక్కడ r అంటే ఏంటి అని అంటే ఎన్నిసార్లు హెడ్స్ వచ్చింది. మనం ఏమనుకుంటున్నాం, ఇక్కడ 6 వచ్చింది అంటే r is equal to 6 అన్నట్టు. ఓకే, సో 1 minus p whole to power of n minus r is nothing but number of times tails are observed. అంటే మనకి p అంటేనేమో probability of getting heads, 1 minus p అంటేనేమో not getting heads అంటే tails వచ్చినాయి అన్నట్టు. ఓకే, సో this is the formula which we will be using for finding the binomial distribution. So we will stop now. The remaining will continue tomorrow. Guys, any doubts regarding anything? Just Pariti, send me the attendance, today's attendance. Ritesh, sure. 527, he left the class. Add 527 to that.
I request everybody to in, because I'm taking a screenshot and I will not be adding names for them. Just please to join.
Just add 527.
Yes, ma'am. 3 people left with me, so I'm taking a screenshot at 1:59. Ask your friends to come online. Okay, I'm taking a screenshot, okay? Arey, you guys can't. अरे यार Sandeep, are you there? Ma'am, I'm having some issues taking the screenshot. I'll just forward it to you.
No problem, Pariti.
Ma'am, I've taken it now. I'll just send it to you. It's not in the long format. It's in the smaller 5-picture format.
It's okay.
I'll just send it to you.
Okay.
Taking the screenshot, you all can leave now.
Okay, right. Guys, you can leave.